Hey guys, welcome back. So today I thought I have a few little things I got to do around the garden. I have to get some grass in the ground, and I've also got to dig the sod out around our elderberries because it seems the grass is starting to choke out the elderberries. So I'm going to get that started today, but then I'm also going to give you a little garden tour of everything we've gotten planted so far and how everything's doing. We got some pleasant surprise, and everything seems to be doing really well, even though we did a late planting this year. So we've got a little bit of work to do, and I'll take you along with me. Let's get started. Now the sod's all gone, we've replaced it with some new soil, and then we'll just continue to water and put some fertilizer into this just to help these guys grow a little bit better. But we're going to keep the cages on there for the time being to make sure that the wildlife kind of stay away from them, give these guys a fighting chance. Now that this is all set and the cages are in place, let's get to the garden. Let me show you what we got. So of these, one got taken out by some animal. It was broken sitting over here a couple days ago, and I took that out, but it looks like this one isn't doing too hot, so we're gonna have to dig those out to give the rest of the pumpkins in this area a little bit more room. But overall I think they're doing pretty good. They're starting to drown out the smoke bush a little bit, so we're gonna have to move things around and keep training the vines to stay away from everything. The smaller pumpkin patch with all the little pumpkins are doing great, flowers everywhere. So we end up removing the evergreen that we planted over here. It didn't transplant well, so it's a good thing because the pumpkins in this area have taken over. So here's the one big moon that we didn't move, and you can see inside we got one pumpkin coming up. But we've got a ton of buds and other ones showing up all over the place. So with these, they said that you should trim them back to one vine with one plant if you want a 200-pound pumpkin. But I think what we're gonna do is just let it run and try to get as many pumpkins out of this as we can. Now, of the ones I transplanted, this one seems to be doing pretty good. It's starting to grow. But the oddity, the weird one, is this one. It doesn't seem to be doing as well, but it flowered, and it seems to look like we might get a pumpkin out of it. But I guess we'll see. We'll keep watering it and babying it and to see what happens. The hydrangeas are still doing pretty good. We are getting flowers, but we are having an issue with something coming in and eating it and just snipping it off. Swamp milkweed has grown drastically. It's about twice the size of when we got it. The tiger eye sumac is looking a lot better. There was a while where it was looking pretty sickly and the leaves seemed pretty droopy, but everything seems to be coming in pretty nice with it right now. And our bags seem to have worked because I'm not seeing any Japanese beetles floating around on there. And our squash seems to be doing pretty good. You can see all the color, everything that's coming up. We're having a lot of second blooms. All of our cone flowers are coming up. And there isn't the variety or variations that we thought we were going to get from them. But again, something's coming in here and eating everything. The floral berries are looking nice. The St. John's wort. These are the Pinots, which are very distinctive in color compared to the Sangria St. John's wort. And you can see it's starting to get this maroon or purplish foliage that contrasts nicely with the green and the vibrant red of the berries. The 9 bark has grown pretty drastically. And our red hot pokers, they're coming up. They've been coming up all season since we planted them. This is our second or third bloom out of these. Overall, everything is coming in nicely. And the next thing I have to do is plant some grasses.
What he's doing?
Pollinating.
Oh, because why?
Because that's what they do.
When?
Behind the Mughal pine, we're going to be putting the Hamlin dwarf fountain grass. It gets to only be about 2 to 3 feet tall and 1 to 2 feet wide, so it's just going to be slightly bigger than what they are now. What's nice is the blooms on the panicles actually turn like a tan color, and they'll start to appear in late summer and fall. So they're starting to come up now, and they'll start blooming and turning tan a little bit later this month. The nice thing about these is that they are deer tolerant. So that is one of the main things that we keep putting in here. We want things that these deer are not going to go after, because they seem to be going after everything in around the yard. Now up here, right around our junipers, we're going to be putting a prairie munchkin little blue stem. They get to be about 24 to 30 inches tall and need about 18 inches of spacing behind them. So they aren't going to be much bigger than they are, but over time they should fill this area nicely and just be a nice texture, a nice level between everything. And the way we've positioned it, hopefully, is you will be able to see all of the flowers and all of the different colors around it and between it. And they shouldn't drown out our hairy lauder's walking stick at all. Going over everything in the pot, we just refertilized the jasmine, so we should get another bloom out of that. We have had about 2 or 3 so far, but it's growing nicely. Our blueberries are gone. The birds got a hold of those. Our Scotch bonnets are coming in nice and starting to ripen, so I should be able to pick maybe about 8 to 10 of those here in the next week or so. Peppers, we got a few of these. These are the wonder peppers, the sweet peppers. The onions are nice. The carrots are coming in. The potatoes have fully grown out of the pot. And this is our salsa garden. The tomatoes are coming in nice, and we're starting to get some jalapenos. The cilantro didn't make it. Probably planted a little too low, and it's kind of shaded out by everything else. Rosemary's doing well. Mint is blossoming. We have some ornamental onions. I don't know where these are going to go yet, but just like our chives in the back, it will have that purple flower on top. The lemons, we've got quite a few lemons that have come in, and some that are starting to develop. Nasturtium is getting big. We have a little bit of Swiss chard hidden in the back. Next is Griffin's Garden. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. We got the tomatoes we just trimmed back, so we have just one stalk, so we're not drowning out all of the peas in the back. Our pickling cucumbers are doing well. We do have one in there that's ready to be picked, and a couple more that are growing, and we'll have Griffin pick that today. Something is eating the kale. We're not quite sure what yet. We haven't found anything on there, so I'm thinking it's the Japanese beetles, but we're not quite certain yet. The basil's growing nicely, and so is the nasturtium. And I think we have one Swiss chard all the way down in the bottom down here. And he waters this daily and takes good care of it. Centerpiece is coming along nicely. Everything in the water garden seems to be coming in fully. The lilies are multiplying, and everything seems to be filling in. Looks like we're going to be getting an iris soon. All right, our last area of update before we start planting the grass. We got our tomatoes over there and our peppers in right here. They've already grown about 3 to 4 inches in the last week or so since we planted them. You can see the salvia, since we cut it back, has started another bloom this year. Our squash is doing well. All of the tomatoes are doing well. We've already gotten some on the back, the back cage back here. So hopefully we'll get a bunch of tomatoes that should last us to the end of the year for a fall harvesting. These are our cucumbers. They all seem to be doing pretty good. A lot of the ones that I planted look kind of sickly. Oh, I think I see one down here. Oh yeah, we got a pickling cucumber all the way down at the bottom that is ready to go. I don't want that to over ripen, so we're gonna pick that today. And another one right back here. More tomatoes, our eggplant. Our squash seems to be doing pretty good. We got a lot of blooms on that. Our onions are starting to pop out of the soil already for everything I planted over here. These were all the bulb onions that I planted, and they're popping up all over the place. So we should have a nice harvest of onions in the fall. And now we got our jalapenos. They're growing nicely. They're getting bigger. All of the chives that we transplanted, we are getting some of the flowering from one of them at least right now. And I see another one starting to pop up on here. And then our banana peppers. They seem to be doing real well. We're already getting a bunch of banana peppers starting to form on them. The last update for the front is our neighbor dug out the foundation for a new garage and is building that up now. And this was all rock that he had removed from the soil up there. And this is only a portion of what he's bringing over. Eventually what that's going to do is we're going to cut all this back and rebuild the wall and have it extend all the way down the property. What you doing? So that's the update of what we've got growing so far and how everything's doing. Everything seems to be doing really well. So at this point, we're gonna put the grasses in the ground and then call it a day. So let's get going on that. All right, guys, that's it. We got everything done. We got all of the grasses moved. We moved our ice plant from where it was over so we can make room for the other grasses. We also removed the sod from around the elderberries to make room, to make sure they weren't getting choked out. And we put those fences back up to make sure the deer can't get them. Our smoke bush is starting to come up real nice and having some new foliage on top. We moved all of the pumpkins, the vines away from there and the hydrangeas to make sure that they aren't choking everything out. I think the gardens are all coming in great. So we have a few cucumbers on the side of the house, and in Griffin's garden, he's got one that's come up. So I'm going to get him to pick those and pick the ones on the side of the house, and we're going to have those for lunch. So I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Find your cucumber.
My cucumber?
Where is it? Look inside. Right in here. See it?
Yeah.
Grab it.
Cucumber.
Can you pull?
Yeah. I can pull.
There you go. Look. That's your first cucumber.
Yeah.
See how big that one is? Two more over here, Griffey.
Yeah. Where's I could put these?
Hold on to them.
There's two more. Cucumbers. Wow.